Welcome to Who Wants to Lead the World? Dunya ka netritva kaun karega? Joining me today, a very versatile and dynamic person, Ms. Sheba Thapar. Let me introduce herself. Sheba is an accomplished educationalist having 25 years of experiences. She has in-depth knowledge in managing pre-primary and primary departments of leading schools. Sheba has M.Sc in mathematics. In her current role, Sheba is a founding director of Sacred Step Experiential Learning. With her new venture, Sheba wants to teach a curriculum that emphasizes like skills, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary curriculum. Sheba, welcome to the show. Sheba, you have achieved so many awards in terms of leaderships and mentorships. Besides having 25 years of experiences and besides running your own business right now, where do you find this much of energy to do all these different kind of activities?
Well, very nice question. And I feel that, it's both energy and time management, which plays a major role when it comes to, scheduling your activities. Now you need to structure your office and, you need to structure your schedule to minimum wasted time and distractions. Though it sounds simple, but I think effective prioritization and articulation of daily goals is likely one of the most impactful things when it comes to a school leader or an administrator, to run the school efficiently. And I feel that it's all about habits, creating a simple list of to-do things in a day and your tasks with the deadlines. It's something to, start your day with. And what I feel is as a principal, there should be some activities that, if you feel, though your management asks you, you need to say no also, because whatever you need to prioritize, I think you need to work with your own vision. So I think these are the few things that I incorporate in my lifestyle, which makes, gives me a lot of time. I have time for doing my hobbies. I have time to relax, because you need some of the me time also. If you're, you can't work 24/7. So I feel that, that rejuvenation is also very important when you are working. And that efficiency has a lot to do with that. You also need to have your own stress busters around you. So I think that's all about the time management and prioritizing, which, gives me an inspiration to, get to the most of the things that I love to do in my life.
So one of the things you just now mentioned that you have to say no to certain things because there are 24 hours we have it. And then out of that, how much you can dedicate for your career. So it just reminds me Steve Jobs. His first mantra was that he's going to say no to everything. Okay. So and that's where you can see where the Apple is right now. Okay. But that's great. That's good to know. And one of the things I found out about you that you are passionate about what you do. And then when you have passion, and then you put the efforts on top of this, then you are bound to become successful. Yeah. So that's great. Excellent. So let's just move on to our main topic. Are we teaching the right stuff to our kids? Okay. Your new venture, Sacred
Step Experiential Learning.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Sacred Step, right? So let's just talk about that. And when I read about your profile on that, you want to teach the life skills and also interdisciplinary skills. Tell me about it. What does that mean?
Having an experience of 25 years, I think, especially post-lockdown, where children were all confined to their indoor spaces, we see that there are a lot of learning gaps amongst the learners. So I thought of an idea, why not launch my own brand wherein we can get a lot of activities, a lot of outdoor spaces, so that, the children, once when they join back post-lockdown, they would get a treat to their eyes. So we at Sacred Step Experiential Learning School, we provide space, that envelops the young children with love and security. Of course, security is the prime importance when we talk about the early learners, when we talk about the pre-primary children, because it's the first time that they are landing in the school. And, the second thing that we worked towards is the happiness factor. Now, children are all at their homes, confined with their parents, clinging on to their parents. When we talk about, children who's a child who's as small as 2.5, when, it's a time for them to go to a pre-primary school. So I feel that, that separation anxiety would definitely be there when they've now joined back. So, we've got a lot of learning spaces where, children would enjoy coming to a school. So happiness is the motto of our school, that each child should be happy to come to school. Now, based on that, we've got a lot of, activity-based, what you call spaces in our school. For example, we have the amphitheater. Amphitheater is all outdoor, open, amphitheater that we have. So when we are talking about, teaching them maybe a storytelling activity or a pottery activity, even as adults, if we are confined to indoor spaces, we feel very bored. So looking at that aspect, we have designed this so that, children are happy. They are engaged in a storytelling. They feel what exactly it is. And of course, with the nature that they've been totally away with for the past 2 years, they've not been coming out. They've lost their stamina. So based on that, we have kept that, if they're outdoor, there'll be sunlight, there'll be a lot of fresh air, they'll be sitting under the trees. When we're talking about the outdoor spaces, we've got a lot of spaces like, the mini football field. We have got a traffic park, which is application-based learning. So experiential learning is all about, the child is able to relate. It's learning by doing, to, develop the vital skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and, effective decision making, simultaneously, and of course to retain it right from the initial years. So we've got a very beautiful traffic park in the school wherein we have all the traffic signages, so that's very important to educate them with what is going to be applying, what they are going to be applying in the next, going forward in the next few years. Talking about life skills, it's very important when I feel that, even during the COVID time, we conducted a lot of online sessions wherein we had sessions like bonding over breakfast sessions, where we were teaching the children the, basic etiquettes to time. We were teaching them something which is very basic, like folding of clothes, when they can help their parents, even at their home front. Something very basic, like, setting up a dining table. So all these activities are nothing but the life skills, what has been learned forever, what they will always remember. I was just remembering one thing that my school taught me. When I was a school girl, I used to go to the school, Queen Mary's, and we had discipline was, of prime importance there, where, we used to have prefects who used to check our shoes, the length of the skirt, the nails, that we used to have ribbons. And, that polishing of shoe is something that I imbibed, and till date, I'm very particular when I move out of the house, something which is very basic, but I think the credit goes to my school. So that's what is a life skill when we are doing it, even when we grow old, and it's a good habit to incorporate. So I think when we're talking about our school, it's basically about love, fun, joy of learning. And of course, with the both indoors and outdoor spaces that we have, we are looking forward for this the lockdown to be over in Haryana and Gurgaon, and where we meet our children, and they're also happy and safe in the environment that we've built for them.
So what's your age group here? Is it elementary?
Yes, so it is. We've got a daycare for 6 months old child. The daycare would be for a 12-year-old child also, if they are going to the other formal schools. Other than that, it's all formative years. It's toddler, playgroup, pre-nursery, nursery, KG, so till 5.5, 6 years, 6.5 years is what we are looking for.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay. So let me gear towards this life skills. Sometimes you call this as a non-cognitive skills, or you classified as a soft skills, right? Now, it's very interesting that at early age, you are teaching kids how to fit into certain environment. Now, let's just take a little bit deeper dive into some of those skills which requires, for example, problem solvings, or identifying your own emotions, and then managing those emotions. I mean, I'm talking about social and emotional learning. And as you know that NEP 2020, India's national education policy, they're going to emphasize huge on this emotional learning, socio-emotional learning. That's what it's been mentioned over there. So what you are teaching, that's great. And that's what we need right now. I mean, you are reminding me in USA, the concept called Montessori school. We have that where really instead of it's a structured program, just the early age, you are just showing them, okay, this is the toy. Do you want to play? No. Okay, there are second tours. There are multiple choices. You have it. So at this point, what they are trying to work towards is a curiosity. Okay. So I think this kind of concept is very good, and I'm glad that it's coming to India also. But tell me about we in India, parents are always the moment child is the moment child is born, they are just trying to figure it out how to make this person's career. There's a race out there, right? How do you convince parents that you don't need to worry about learning ABCD at 5 or 6 years? Let's just focus on developing this soft skill.
See, it's very important now. I think one is the era that parents were more focused on, their careers. Now I think the young generation, where we talk about parents of 3 years, the parents who come to me, it's very strange when I ask them and I show them the curriculum. Their mindset has certainly changed. What they are asking for is, the child should be happy to come to school. So, going forward, I feel that that mindset is also getting changed now in India too, where they are looking forward for a child to learn life skills, a child to be, outspoken when it comes to a communication skill. They want their children to bond with each other. They want their children to be, all the holistic development that they want in a child. And of course, when we talk about, the scientific temperament, they want their child to, in the digital age, they want their child to be mastering those skills also at the same time. And I feel that with the COVID around, children have mastered the skill of, technology, what I must say, and they know better than what the teachers are, knowing already. And, it's sometimes tough because they've been exploring a lot of YouTube channels, and where they have, channels like Dr. Binox and all the scientific related things are being taught, and they are enjoying that too in a very fun, frolic way. So I think all that has certainly made an impact on parents that, their child is smart. They feel that, yes, the child has become smarter in that. And they do feel that there's a little bit of, those socio-emotional skills that the child would be, learning in school. The child will be bonding in school. To be very honest, the children who are coming here in school, parents want their more of a social, connect with each child. Because when we are talking about the formative years, it's more of peer bonding that the parent is looking forward for. The more of, the physical activity that they are looking for. Right. So unlike in the past that their focus was only into the bookish, the knowledge, the curriculum, it's an overall development that the parents are looking forward for.
Right. I mean, you just now mentioned one thing, and I agree with you that now in India, especially in India, the parents are more and more cognizant or aware of that. Okay, it's not only the bookish knowledge, but you need to develop this life skills also, and that's where I think it's very encouraging. But again, not everywhere, or not all schools or preschools, they are aligned with the same values. So I'm glad that it's improving. Now let's just move on to the next subjects that about your lifestyle achievement. Tell me, what are the biggest challenge you had since you had an experience leading a school, right? What are your biggest challenge you have had in your professional career?
Believe that the biggest challenge was, of course, when the COVID had come and when we had to plan the entire, system. We need to revamp it, and we had been given, I think, 24 hours to do so. Just immediately after lockdown, when we were all, supposed to conduct the classes, so everybody was wondering as to how to manage such time. Online way, which was completely a new platform. So here was the time when we were trying to take the child away from technology, as in, the virtual screen time. We don't allow child to use mobiles also in school, but here it was that the schools were encouraging the virtual screen time. So that was the toughest part to convince the parents. First, of course, is to manage the teachers, train the teachers. So actually, all the three stakeholders, as a school head, we found it very challenging how to, convince each and every stakeholder in the education industry. Right from, let's start with teachers, when it was their training to be planned. Or not all teachers were techno savvy. We had all varied age group of teachers with us. So we had to train all of them. And the best part was that they were very open to learning. So also there was a buddy mentor system that we got. A teacher who's very well trained can train somebody who requires more of the help. So all these, various means, and of course, first we started with Zoom as a platform, and then there were some security issues. So it was training, learning, relearning. So all that was, happening simultaneously. So that was the biggest challenge that we had faced. And of course, then convincing the parent, a parent for of a 2.5, 3-year-old child, it was very difficult to convince them. And of course, parents, it was very tough. That child, attention span is very low at that time when it comes to sitting in front of the screen is concerned. So we definitely, engaged all the parents also to be a part of the learning. We did a lot of bonding over breakfast sessions with the parents. We did a lot of sessions where we invited parents for our virtual play dates. We did assembly time where children were engaged. We get them, we invited them for different competitions also. When it came to, maybe a singing competition, a virtual play date was planned. And then so many activities we were able to. So first 6 months were really challenging. However, everybody was exploring at that time. Then maintaining them was a big challenge. Then, that was after 1.5 years, it was totally monotonous. It was, everybody was getting so bored of the same schedule, that getting up and the same. So we had to get in a lot of novelty in the teaching methodology, So everything was happening. So that was the biggest challenge, but I think we've all been able to control it well.
I think this remote learning, it's not going to go away. Not only that in education field, but in professional field also. Nowadays, employees are preferring that instead of us driving San Francisco to somewhere, let's say 2 hours, I would rather work home, and then it will be more productive. And that's where I think the world is going towards. Do you think the next generations are ready for changing their lifestyle and that revolves around this virtual setup?
Well, I think it depends on the age wise, because when we are talking about formative years, I feel that, it's important for them to bond. But yes, hybrid would certainly be an option for them. When we are talking about them coming to school, maybe one day off from school, they can work on a project at home. So definitely this new, generation has to adopt. And I think they have already adapted to this culture. They've already adapted to that. And yes, when we talk about convenience for parents also, I think it's very much convenient when we talk about a parent-teacher meeting, for example. In the past, every school wanted the parents to be live to attend the PTMs in the school. However, with the new norm, I think it's convenient for parents.
Right.
We get 100% attendance, be it a virtual, be it an offline meeting. I think it's a convenience. So I think this trend definitely will go, there are some positives that will be there and they will be remaining with us forever.
Okay. Excellent. So now we're going to shift our last portion of this show. I'm going to ask you a rapid questions and you have 10 seconds to answer. Ready? True or false? You like being more learner than a teacher. Is that true?
True.
Okay. All right. Tell me something craziest thing you talk to your student.
I've talked with my students. The craziest thing, well, I think making them dream one day when they were all getting bored. So I asked them to dream about things, and that I think in a maths class, that's the craziest thing that I would have ever asked them.
Okay. Tell me some of the craziest thing which your student talk to you.
Okay, I think when I joined Kuthari International, I used to make a bun like an air hostess. So I think everybody presumed me to be an air hostess who has come to teach the students.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. If I put you, let's say, back in your school days, which grade or class would you choose and why?
Well, I think it would be grade 8, because I think that has the notorious of all the, graders. It's a middle school, and what fun we used to have and how we used to interact with the teachers. It was the most naughtiest of the lot that I had met, and used to kind of remove the tube lights chokes so that teachers don't teach us, because our grade 8 was in the totally a room where we never used to have the sunlight.
Okay, so that's great. That's great. Tell me the biggest mistake of your life. It could be personal or professional.
I don't think so. I remember, because mistakes have been many, but I think I've learned from my mistakes. So yeah. I feel that I don't remember that one mistake. I've done many mistakes, but then yes, I have learned from whatever mistakes that I've done, because I believe that what we perceive as an error or failure is actually a gift. Mm-hmm. I believe in that.
So at least your learners would be listening to this. They would know that teacher can also make mistakes. So at least that's good. You learn, you buckle up, and then move forward, right? That's your way of life. Okay, good. The last question. It's a very odd question. Do you believe in alien? Do you think that someday we will reach to alien, or they will reach to us?
Crazy question though, but yes, alien like COVID has already reached us, and I would never want to, reach out to them. I think that these aliens should be going away from us. I think
right.
That's all.
Right. That's good. Good. Ms. Sheba Thapar, this was nice talking with you. But I hope that you will join us, our panel discussions or a one-on-one show. From our side, we hold two companies, N.G and Learning. That's where we teach social impact-based experiences. So how do we integrate math into social impact-based? How do we integrate science into social impact-based? So now kids are learning for really they find some purpose. That if I know that how the math works, 2 + 3 is equal to 5, but how do I apply in solving the global issue? So that kind of concept we are working towards. So we are working with many schools, educators to try out our curriculum. So definitely we will approach you if requires. But it's kind of a concept we have developed between US and India. So
very interesting. It's a very interesting topic. I think that's something.
Yeah. Yes, the main thing is our education revolves around those 21 challenges: water, sanitation, violence, gender inequality. So we teach them age-appropriate content right at early age, like kindergarten. And so that's also, I think we emphasize on social and emotional learning also. But anyway, I'll definitely will touch base with you in terms of whether your students may want to try it out, some of our curriculum. Because whenever we find out the schools are, in Hindi we call it a hatke, we are always curious about learning your mantra, your philosophy. So this is great. I do see that there is we do have some common elements. So, yeah, but yeah, good job. I think I hope that your current success, current future.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Pleasure to connect. Thank you.
Take care.